What book did you read in school that you actually liked? To Kill a Mockingbird. The Giver by Lois Lowry. That book about the mouse and the guy with the mental condition. Of Mice and Men. Holes. I had to read The Outsiders in 8th grade and I liked it so much that I watched the movie with some of my friends. The Great Gatsby, Frankenstein, All Quiet on the Western Front. Where the Red Fern Grows. It's so sad but so good. Hatchet. Okay, well, this might be a bit pedestrian for you guys, but I genuinely loved my R.L. Stine books. Fear Street. All of it. Fahrenheit 451. Crazy how the subject matter is still very relevant even today. The Catcher in the Rye. The Picture of Dorian Gray. Taming of the Shrew was really funny. The Jungle. Sad. But eye-opening. And no, I don't mean the one with Mowgli and the talking animals. Things Fall Apart. Chinua Achebe. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The Kite Runner. Mouse. The one with Piggy. I forgot the name. But you know the one. Oh. Lord of the Flies. Also. The one in a futuristic setting. I can't remember the name but we read it senior year. They had to the birth control or something and one day this girl got pregnant. IDR, please help me. Fahrenheit 451. Flowers for Algernon was really good. I never read Animal Farm in school but I also really liked that one. It still sticks with me today. Artemis Fowl. Tuck Everlasting. Robinson Crusoe. We were supposed to read the first 2 chapters. I devoured the whole book and loved every letter. Oh wait, you mean academically inclined? Yeah, for me that would be Empire of the Sun. Reading that book in class and then watching the movie was the closest I got to understanding what my grandfather went through. He was in a Japanese prison camp during the war. One of the Dutch survivors. All Quiet on the Western Front. Ranger's Apprentice. Geronimo Stilton was a classic. Gulliver's Travels. The Outsiders and Fahrenheit 451. Fuck me, Ray Bradbury. Guinness Book of World Records. Was never a book person in school. No mouth face. Maze Runner. I liked it because they made a movie of it. I was on page 60 the day before the report was due, so I watched the movie and looked up the difference between the book and the movie. Movie was decent. Got an A on my report. I'm sure the book was great. Would do it again. I actually really liked English in middle school. Granted that was literally half my life ago. But I remember loving short stories more than anything. A few were There Will Come Soft Rain. The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. The Landlady. Some books I really did like were Farewell to Manzana. The House on Mango Street. Anthem. And no works or books in general. But all of Edgar Allan Poe. My 8th grade teacher showed us live adaptations of Telltale Heart, and a bunch of his other works on Halloween and gave us all donuts. One of my best childhood memories. Hatchet. A boy crashes a plane in the Canadian wilderness. The Lion. The Witch and the Wardrobe. That series changed my life and is the only reason I went on to read series like The Lord of the Rings. Fahrenheit 451. Unwind. Silas Marner. Huck Finn. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Catch-22. The Giver. Ishmael. Harry Potter Books 1 and 2 in Grade 4. The Giver. Catch-22. Tom Sawyer. The Hound of the Baskervilles. Lord of the Flies. And Sunset Song. Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. The Giver. Of Mice and Men. Where the Red Fern Grows. To Kill a Mockingbird. The Diary of Anne Frank. Flowers for Algernon. Brave New World, 1984. The Outsiders. The Once and Future King. Hatchet. Definitely a good read. The Westing Game. The Great Gatsby. I hated American Lit in high school, but looking back, all of the books we were supposed to read were actually pretty decent. The Crucible. The Scarlet Letter. The Great Gatsby, etc. There was a short story that I can't remember the name of, where a guy is dying of hypothermia in the Arctic or something, and his dog companion just gives up and abandons him. Heavy stuff. Sallow. Brave New World. And Doors of Perception. Peak. It was extra credit, but I liked it. Misty of Chincoteague. The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Timmingly. A Monster Calls. Lord of the Flies. The Great Gatsby. And probably a lot more that just don't come to mind are Unbroken. The story of Louis is amazing. The Road. I'm not a book person, but Beowulf was the one. To Kill a Mockingbird. The Rats of Neve. The Outsider's Night. April Morning. The Kite Runner. 1984. A Tale of Two Cities reminds me of the current world in a way. To Kill a Mockingbird. Lord of the Flies. The Good Earth. And Shakespeare. Those were the ones that stood out. But I loved all the books we were assigned. Avid reader here. But now, for the first time, I see you are a man like me. I thought of your hand grenades. Of your bayonet. Of your rifle. Now I see your wife and your face and our fellowship. Forgive me, comrade. We always see it too late. Why do they never tell us that you are poor devils like us? That your mothers are just as anxious as ours. And that we have the same fear of death. And the same dying and the same agony. Forgive me, comrade. How could you be my enemy? Quote. Fucking haunting. All quiet for me right up until the end, when it finally really hit. You get so emotionally drained by the end that it feels like nothing matters in that book. But something about it keeps pushing you on. Because it's so interesting and so well written. And unlike something like TLOU2, there's, albeit extremely rare, moments of hope. Not enough to cover the despair and darkness, but enough to help push you on just a little further.